Hey y'all, I'm Flynt.
And I'm Lena.
Welcome back to Queer Dice Rolls, the podcast where two queer, neurodivergent, and chronically ill bards try working out their pasts, identities, and problems, one conversation at a time.
Join us as we, once again, fail our deception checks and share just a little too much.
Hi, Lena.
Hi, Flynt.
It's just us again.
I know.
Are you excited?
Yes, I am. It feels so good. I mean, we loved having our guests.
Yeah, it was really nice to have everybody on.
Yes, and we had a lot of fun filming with them. It was a really different thing for us to do, but we haven't had an episode where it's just us, I feel like, in like 6 weeks.
I know, it's crazy.
So this is really nice.
It is really nice.
We have our coffee and tea, and we're just sitting here. It's hot
and
as hell.
Finally, I was going to say, it's finally not 100 degrees, but it is still 80.
Yes, it is hot where we are, and that's okay. Sure it is.
One day we'll be able to be in here in like sweaters and with some hot tea and stuff.
It'll be so aesthetic. We'll have our like Critical Role sweaters on.
Just one day. Just we'll have
Yes.
one day.
There will be one day that it drops below 50 degrees. It's going to be fantastic. So we interviewed everybody who was available from
Yes,
our
we
Dragon
did.
Centers group.
Yvonne really wanted to join us, but was not able to make that work. And we would have loved to talk to her, but we got some good notes for this episode from her. So hopefully we'll be able to fill in some of the gaps and give you guys a better look into Adon as a character.
Yes. And we had a lot of requests to talk about the plot of the campaign.
Yeah, we actually, that was some of the biggest feedback we got was that everybody was like, it was so cool to hear about some of the things that were happening, but I want to know like the story. I want to know more about the story. So we, over the past few weeks, have been working really hard to try to gather 4 years worth of information. Because Lord knows I don't remember much.
And I wasn't there.
Yeah, that. So we're going to spend the next few episodes kind of wrapping up this arc of talking about the Dragon Stunners, telling y'all the story of everything that we went through. We're going to do our best to hit the major plot points and then the character arcs and things that matter to everybody. But a lot happened, and we played every week for almost 4 years straight.
For at least 6 hours.
So we're gonna miss stuff and probably have corrections and stuff later. I'm sure when Bardis is listening, they will be yelling at us.
Yes. So Bardis, I think our request of you is take your notes. Take your corrective notes, and then at the beginning of other episodes, we can read all the corrections.
Yeah. Tell you what, buddy. You pick a character, and they will read corrections.
Pick me. I'm not even in this campaign. I love this. Please, anyone from our group who listens and has corrections, if you find corrections or additions, you tell us who you want to read.
Pick one of our characters, please.
Oh yeah,
because we can't do yours.
I can't do Kayleen. I can't, please.
Yeah, so that's what we're gonna talk about for the next little while. I hope that it goes well. We've never told a story this way before. I've DM'd and told stories that way, and I write short stories and novels and things like that. So this will be really interesting to see how everybody feels about telling the story this way.
Yeah, and to like put so many hours of collective storytelling, like to distill it down to just a few to the highlights.
Yeah, because I'm going to. So today we're going to talk about the part where Lena wasn't there, and at least try to get all of that in one episode. But that was levels 1 through 4.
3 or 4.
3 or 4, yeah. So it was months, because we started in April and you joined in what?
The first date I have is from November. I think Bardis and I did 2 character creation sessions for River, because the first one, they basically just told me this is how D&D 5e works.
Yeah, that makes sense.
because I had no idea, and I
I
had
mean,
no
it
idea what
takes
kind of
hours.
character.
You've played with our friends here. Like you sit down and it's a whole day extra before you even make your character. You're just like, how does this work? I
Yeah,
don't
how
even know
does
what to
this?
pick.
Because it was a totally new system to me, so I didn't know what kind of character I wanted to play. So they explained like all the different classes and everything, and we like went over it, and then we made my character, and then I think it was like early November was the first time I played with y'all.
Yeah, so it's 6 months
6 solid months, right?
of gameplay. For people who have played Tomb of Annihilation before, this ain't it.
Yes.
Is the most I could tell you. We did not follow what we were supposed to be doing for our levels and stuff.
And for listeners who don't know, Tomb of Annihilation is a D&D like source book, right?
Yes,
It's like a
so it's an
track.
it's an adventure.
Yeah.
Like basically like it gives you all the information on a region and like tells you everything that's there so that you can essentially it's an island that we're exploring. But we did not follow the source material, and Bardis is an absolute angel and did so much work to give us a game that was still on theme and still had the elements of the world and the lore, because Bardis loves lore, as you learned. So there's so many cool things that are there from the source material and also just from the world in general. But you're probably going to be like, why didn't they just go in the jungle? Because we're chickens. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, this episode you'll find out a big reason why they
find
didn't
out
go
why.
into the jungle.
But yeah, so I hope you guys like it. But before we get started, was there anything that you wanted to mention that for the next little bit?
I think just for people who play D&D or people that don't, Tomb of Annihilation is set in Faerun, right, which is a D&D world, and set in the 5th edition of Dungeons and Dragons.
Like our world, Ouroboros, which is where we write.
Yes,
It's the same kind of concept.
Yeah. And so if you play, we're playing with 5e rules. If we mention like spells,
5e
like
with we do use Unearthed Arcana stuff, which is like new things that are being tested. We also use other supplement stuff that we'll talk about that like we backed up for Kickstarters and things like that.
And I know I know a few people have spells and abilities from the source book, Tasha's Cauldron of Everything.
Yeah, so we use lots of different like expansion material that's like canonical and like published by Wizards of the Coast, but we also use stuff that like really cool creative people made, like the domestic magic system.
Yes.
That I backed on Kickstarter, and the arcane tattoo stuff that I have.
Yeah.
So we'll try to talk about that a little bit, but like even how like Finesse the Blade / Mirth of the Dance's base character works is drawn from some really cool ideas that other people had about alternative tiefling builds. So there's a lot of stuff that's peppered in there, and then just a lot of cool stuff that Bardis just made with people. I honestly, I think River and Mirth are the least.
We're the least homebrewed.
Homebrewed.
Like I don't think River is hardly homebrewed at all.
And my homebrew stuff is like all I would always like. It's just a few things, and I would always bring it to Bardis as like a. Here's a reference I have and what I'm thinking, and then how do you want me to handle however I build this? So.
And homebrew is what it sounds like. It's stuff that you make at home that is not in a book.
Yeah. Which means that it's usually much more challenging for the GM or the DM to balance those things. And again, Bardis is amazing and managed to do that with us being OP as heck.
Yep. It's actually ridiculous. I know that something I will say for anybody who's played Tomb of Annihilation, I think you're supposed to get to the tomb at like level 5, and I think
really?
Yes, I thought that's what Bartis said. It was like about level 5 is when you're supposed to get there. We got there at what, level 18?
18.
Like,
and we just went in like one floor or something and then came out.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was great. But anyway, they have to scale absolutely everything that they're using from the source book.
Yeah.
So, super fun. But we'll start out by talking about, I think, Mirth's origins and his family. Mm-hmm. But first,
a word from our characters. The world is rough right now, my loves. Let's take a moment to show ourselves some kindness. My name is Mirth, and I'm here for all your needs. Today, I've got River with me to help lead us all in a meditation.
So, I've been thinking today about how does silence feel? And I know today, next to my friend, it feels warm and comforting. And it changes all the time, so take a deep breath with us and think about how it feels for you.
Feel free to pause the show for as long as you need and start back up when you're ready. I know things are hard right now for people like us, but you aren't alone. If nothing else, know there is a tiefling bard out there that cares that you exist and wants for you to be able to smile. If only for a split second, let yourself have some joy. If you ever feel like you need someone to talk to, I'd be happy to listen. Remember, my loves, I am so glad to have you in my audience. The world wouldn't be the same without you. And we're back.
We're back. Welcome. So.
Welcome. I tried not to.
It's okay. We just a quick little plug for Dropout and for Make Some Noise. We love Josh.
No problem.
No problem. I need to get that sweatshirt. Okay, we're back. So, Flynt, your character Mirth, as most of our listeners probably know, a wonderful tiefling bard.
That is true. So I've told you guys how Mirth came as a concept from a little bit that Z and I did. Mm-hmm. But once I had this idea of a sword dancer bard, I was like, where would that person be? And it's kind of a typical, like, this person's in a carnival and is an entertainer is kind of one of the more stereotypical ones, I think. But I really wanted to kind of put a twist on it, and so I, in my fashion, did a very deep dive on the history of freak shows and circuses in the United States, and learned a lot about what kind of life that is, and what kind of acts there are, and what kind of people there are there, and what's pretty normal for people to, like, what skills is pretty normal for people to have. So, like, if you start as a juggler, what's a pretty normal, like, escalation from there? Or if you're throwing knives, is it normal for you to move on to something else? That sort of thing. I watched so many documentaries. Some really interesting ones about, so there's still like a like sideshow thing, or at least there was a few years ago, that was in LA.
Yes.
That still permanently did like sideshow. I'm like, a lot of people are upset by the term freak, but I also identify as a freak, so like I don't have as much of a, I think it's one of those reclaimed words. Mm-hmm. But there's a lot of sideshow stuff that was down there, and they were still like practicing. I just went to, this is so funny, this is relevant. Right. I literally just went to Paranormal Cirque with one of my really, really, really good friends, Felix, and to start spooky season. Hell yeah. And it was a very sideshow heavy show, and I was delighted because it was so many of the things that I had like learned about and had never gotten to see. It was just really fun. So anyway, I started from there. And then I was like, I have to make a circus. So I think I have the most NPCs that are directly related to me.
Yeah, non-player characters. Yeah, you have so many.
Yeah.
And they're all wonderful.
I wanted to make them all real people because the concept that Bardis and I came up with, because I brought this concept to Bardis and I was like, I feel like this is where Mirth would have grown up, and this is what I kind of think this is composed of. And he was the one who I came up with everything except like the ringleader or the person who like owned it. And I was like, I don't really know who would own it. And he was like, my old character would do it.
Yeah, so on Bardis's episode, I think they talked some about Tazium.
Yeah, they did. They talked about their first characters, but Tazium is Bardis's character, who is very different in this world than he was before. But like, Tazium is the one who found Mirth and adopted him into the carnival. So how do you want me to do this? There's a lot of information I'm spewing right now.
Well, why don't we introduce the people in the carnival, and then you can talk about what they all do, and then if Mirth has any like special relationship with them.
Do you have everybody written down? Because
I have it right here.
I know everybody, but like Mirth has nicknames for everyone, so
yes, I've got it right here. In fact, so we talked about Tazium. Tazium's like surrogate father kind of situation.
So Tazium is also a bard, but also a warlock, which I found out later. And he is the like MC for the carnival, owns it, is the one that like kind of collects everybody, and he does music, and he's also a clown.
Yes, which I didn't know.
I should have known. I think I knew a long time ago. Which makes sense because a lot of the times the person who's like distracting everybody is clowning.
Mm-hmm. God, clowning's the best.
Yeah.
And then we have so on the notes that I have, the next person listed is Finesse the Blade, or later Mirth of the Dance.
Well, I was gonna say another interesting thing for people who know more about Faerun is that Tazium is a harper.
Yes.
So that. Keep that in mind.
Yes, that's your little like extra Easter egg of lore.
Yes, for those of you who did see the D&D movie, yes, those harpers. But that's part of why he found Finesse at the time. So Finesse does a lot of things because he is just really, really good at picking up skills. So he is a sword dancer, a fire dancer, he juggles, and he can also, he's amateur at like sword swallowing and fire swallowing and breathing.
Yeah, whenever we go to like the Ren Fair and there are like sword swallowers, you're always like, Mirth can do that. I'm like, hell yeah. It's so fun.
And so his best friend in the carnival is Thaz. And Thaz is somebody, he actually is the only person he recruited himself to the carnival.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I have a whole short story about it.
Oh.
Yeah, it's canonical in that universe, not in our book universe, but like
Yeah.
But yeah, he recruited Thaz, and Thaz is a knife thrower and sword swallower, and so that's where he like picked up the sword swallowing was from Thaz.
Oh, cool.
But they're essentially around the same age, or like in their early 20s, and they share a caravan, which is a nightmare for everybody.
And he's a half orc, right?
Yes.
He's got like teal
So he's
skin?
a gray half orc.
He's gray? Okay.
Who has like teal hair and eyes for reasons. And then let's see, his mother figure is I never know how to say this word, an Aasimar.
That's what I say.
Okay. An Aasimar named Weonvi, and she looks like a falcon.
Yeah, SMRs have like wings and are like celestial usually.
Yes. So she's got wings, and she's the strong woman of the well, wow, word just left me, of the carnival. Good God.
This is where we're at today. Please accept us.
I'm so sorry. I'm having a high pain day, so my brain's not okay.
But we are and I just got back from a trip, so we're just here doing our best.
We're vibing.
Yeah. I'm having a good time.
Yeah, but she's very like, but she's not bulky. Like, was one of the things that like Bardis wanted to play with was, she's like very lithe, but like hella strong. And then Norithek. We're really talking about Norithek, right?
Yeah.
So Norithek is a dwarf, and he is. So I ran into this when I was doing my research. What did Bardis write it down as?
So he's got actually the longest description. A bloodless mystic who does
Mystic, yeah.
fire walking, bloodless pincushion, and hanging and stretching his skin with hooks.
Yeah, so this was like a type of like sideshow person that was really common back in the day. Like a quote unquote mystic, or a bloodless one. Like, it's really interesting because basically they specialized in surpassing pain.
Okay.
So they trained themselves up to be able to like hang from hooks and like walk on hot coals and like do things like that.
Yeah, things people think are like supernatural a little bit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But you can just build up a tolerance. Like we watched, there was like an artist on Dragula who did that, didn't they? Oh, that was
Who
crazy.
did hooks?
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, plug for Dragula. Great show.
Amazing show. Also, happy spooky season. Watch Dragula.
Yeah. Yeah, so I really wanted to include something like that because I thought, especially like in Dungeons and Dragons world, there would be people that had endured things like that and had some sort of like supernatural ability to.
Yeah.
Because he is a monk, I believe.
Yes.
In the game, so makes sense.
Yeah, he and River become friends much later in the campaign.
Yeah. And then let's see. Then there's who's essentially like to Mirth the auntie and uncle, which is Ray Ray and Horshin, but that's not her real name.
Yeah, her real name's Henri Alonre, which is like an amazing name, amazing D&D name.
And she's a drow, who's a trans woman, who actually helped Mirth when Mirth was a kid, and was like, I'm not a woman, I can't be a woman, and so she's the one that provides his like hormone blocking tea, essentially, because she was an expert in poisoning. So really cool thing that Bardis did for me. And then Horshin is I think a half elf, right?
Yes.
Horshin is a half elf, and they're both acrobats and contortionists, which is why Mirth has spent a lot of time with them, because when Mirth was little, before Mirth was allowed to handle weapons, he was a acrobat. And then they figured out he really could dance. So he has training in acrobatics and things like that. Could do all of the same things that they do. He just prefers dancing. And then I know I'm forgetting somebody.
Yeah, then we've got two more groups. So we've got Sputter and Spark.
Oh yeah, so Sputter and Spark are also around Mirth's age, and they are twins who are half fire genasi. And they do fire breathing and swallowing and fire dancing with Mirth. Usually, he usually does an act with them. And then the last are the gnomes, right? It's Rastin. Remind me.
Orner and Manwyn. I also forgot their names.
I knew their names. I'm having a day today.
We did so much research in so many notebooks.
I know. So Rastin, Orner, and Manwyn are actually like the live. So they're the musicians. So all the way that like we talked about Mirth's childhood was that he would be he would basically have done tutelage with all of these people, and all of these people have been collected because they've been rejected in some form or fashion by either their families or their societies. So it is quite truly a like rejected freak show.
Mm-hmm.
But it is called Tazium's Carnival of Carnal Curiosities, and Bardis did do an entire performance, one of the first episodes. Sessions we played as like an episode in my head.
I wish that they were episodes. That would be great.
But we started. So I actually did start the game, like with finesse, and everybody was in Waterdeep, and Lady Sylvain, who is the sponsor of the carnival, who always is wearing a silver mask, so nobody knows what she looks like. Maybe Tazium does, don't know. Was needed to go to see one of the merchant princes, whose name is Wakanga.
Mm-hmm.
And so she teleported all of us to the docks, and that's how the game started. And basically, we got there, and the people who could street perform started to street perform, like Mirth, who was juggling and doing a one-handed handstand because he can juggle with his tail.
Shut up. Oh my.
Oh yeah, I did. I did.
That's so extra. I love that
he's
so
very
much.
extra. Because like it was really funny. I have a very distinct memory of Bardis going, "All right, you have to roll for that." Like,
did you roll like a nat 20?
No, he did okay, and everybody at the carnival was kind of like looking at him, like, "What are you doing, dude?" Like, I have a very distinct memory of that.
They were like, "You're having an off day."
What are you doing?
Amazing.
But so they earned some coin, but then Lady Sylvain and Tazium saw Z's character get off of a boat and was like, "Hey, can you please chase down that guy for us? We want to talk to him."
It's a very like good, clear DM thing of being like, go find your party member. But like in a like that's a great story integration thing to do for you.
Yeah, it was great because like I accidentally, because I wouldn't do this to a DM on purpose, but I accidentally made somebody who had no reason to leave. And Bardis handled it with a lot of grace and was very kind about it. And I of course like tried really hard to not make it like a huge deal, but they gave me a lot of reasons to need to go. But Mirth moved easily through the crowd, chased down Zaid, and also Kayleen in that, like basically through the streets until they went to a tavern, and was using his very high charisma to try to convince them to come back to the estate, to Wakanga's estate, to meet Tazium and Lady Sylvain. But during that scene, it was really cool. Z had been following he had been having visions, I think, of a woman, or dreams of a woman with a pseudo dragon on her shoulder, and had followed essentially the feeling, followed luck all the way to Port Nyanzaru, which is where we were, and followed her all the way to this tavern.
Okay.
And had a discussion with her, and had another like vision essentially from her. And this is where we encountered Bashaba for the first time. And Z surprised everybody, and Zaid showed an interest in both Timora and Bashaba, and that began the like infamous like, we're gonna have to flip a coin at the beginning to see who's got more influence today, and they're fighting over you and that kind of thing.
Yeah, because both the goddesses of luck want him.
Yeah. It was Unfortunately, I remember only like the feeling of the vision that he was given and how interestingly Bartis described it, but I can't remember what was it in it. But Kayleen was staying at Fort Balarian with his wife Anatha
Mm-hmm.
and had been sent to Port Nyanzru to get a rare dye for her. And after purchasing that, he was, I believe when he was with us, he was stopped in the street by someone who was like desperately asking for help because their partner had been taken to Executioner's Run, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Which is basically like it's like fighting pits essentially, but it's with dinosaurs chasing you.
Horrible, terrifying.
Terrifying. And Kayleen, I I think tried to intervene and essentially got tricked into being responsible for this guy's life. Um, by which merchant prince was it?
Quayote was the
Yeah.
merchant prince that is responsible.
Yeah, so she basically was like, "Fine, I'll let this person go if you murder another merchant prince's son who I know is in Fort Balarian."
And did y'all ever do that?
Well, I flirted with him.
With the man that he was supposed to kill?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's another kind of death, isn't it? In Shakespeare, it
You're
is.
gonna have to find out.
Sorry. Yeah, so Kayleen, like, it seems like Zayd kind of got his, the thing he was searching for resolved and then opening a big new door. And then Kayleen kind of had this, like, thing that he really didn't want to do, but didn't want someone to get killed, right? Like, he didn't want one person to get killed, so he was going to have to kill somebody else.
Mm-hmm. And he was pissed
Yeah.
about it. And at that point, Mirth did not have a reason to leave. Mirth was just asked to do this for them. So they headed back to the estate, and I think first was the performance. And the thing is, like, for the performance, Mirth was not present talking to everybody because he was getting ready for performing with the carnival. So what we gathered from everybody else and what I remember from the sessions is there were a few interesting things that were happening.
Okay.
One, there was another adventuring party that was there who was headed by a huge orc woman named Undril. And she was trying to recruit Zayd, to go with them into one of the magical dungeons that had been appearing. So that's when we started to hear about these dungeons that were appearing with lots of treasure and conquest and things like that. And essentially they were like, well, we've been called here for different reasons, right? And there was also some interesting people who we later found out were guides who were around the estate.
Yeah, guides for, like, adventuring into the jungle, into the big island.
Because that's like a really big part of the economy there, was hiring a guide. The guide gets paid to take you to the location of one of these dungeons that appears every once in a while, and then you, like, they either take a cut of the treasure or you take the treasure to one of the merchant princes and you pay so much in, like, fees or taxes, right?
It's like a real estate agent.
Essentially. But that was when we had the first full performance of the carnival, which was really, really cool. Bartis did an amazing job describing everything because it was all worked on a theme, and everybody's acts, like, melded into the other one. It was really, really beautiful. Unfortunately, almost all the notes for that are locked behind an older version of Fantasy Grounds.
Yep.
So none of us could quite remember like everything that happened for that.
Do you remember what costume Mirth wore? Anything like
It was
that?
his fire costume, the one that he took apart for everybody for the cloaks.
Oh.
Mhm.
We'll get to that. That'll be it. That's not this episode.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, it was his fire costume because Mirth, that's the other thing. Mirth made all his costumes. So he is a man of many talents.
yes, he is. He can do just about anything.
Yeah.
A jack of all trades.
Here for all your needs. So after the performance, they talked to Tazium and Lady Sylvain and Wakanga and found out that they needed to. Basically, they were hiring them out to go fetch something for Wakanga. Is what Tazium and Lady Sylvain had done. Was they voluntold Mirth Finesse that he was going.
Yeah, they Bardis
Yeah.
remembered this. We had no idea, but it was apparently to retrieve an ancient shield guardian, which I think is like a kind of automaton, right?
Yeah, it's an automaton, I think. Yeah.
Called Vorn, which was supposed to be in an abandoned part of the jungle that was west of this city. So I don't think super far.
Yeah, so Mirth had Finn had never had to leave. I'm going to use Finn for this time because
Okay.
So Finesse or Finn had never had to leave the carnival at any time. He did once when he was younger. Just to exert a little independence. When they stayed on the outside of a town, he went into a tavern by himself. And it went very, very badly because it was a town that still believed that tieflings were evil. So that actually, I also have a short story about that. But essentially, at this point, nobody in the party knew he was a tiefling because he wears makeup to cover up his markings, and he didn't have very prominent teeth or anything like that. And he wore a headscarf and his hair tied back and things like that to cover up all of his inhuman features. And he wrapped his tail around himself and wore it under a sash. Whenever they were in new places. So the performance is one of the first times that they see what he actually looks like. But he doesn't leave on his own very much. So it was a lot to convince him to leave, unfortunately.
Yeah, and they that's when Tazium gave him his big gift.
Lady Sylvain gave him L.
Oh, really?
But I think it was Tazium convincing Lady Sylvain to give him L. But yes, he got his first real magical sword, essentially, because he has a lot of swords, but I again did lots of research. The things that in performers is that they use different kinds of swords for different kinds of things. So his juggling swords are very different from his fire swords. And his fire sword, I took a lot of maintenance. It was very heavy, and it had to be filled with oil and things like that in order for it to work. So he had training swords and things like that, but he didn't have a real sword that was his. And so they gave him a real sword for the journey, essentially.
Was he supposed to return it or anything?
Mm-mm.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
What a gift. I mean,
well, at the time, he had no idea.
I know, but they knew, right?
Well,
I'm sure they did.
I don't know how to tell this. Should I tell it as we found out, or should I tell it explain it as we go?
Let's just tell it as we found out, because you didn't take that long.
As far as he knew, it was a regular sword.
Just a pretty sword.
Just a very pretty sword
with amethysts in it.
Mm-hmm. So it was a singing sword.
That's right. I knew there was something cool.
So a singing sword for people is a real thing. People don't know. It has rings in it at certain intervals. So if you move it, you learn to move it a certain way, it rings with different tones. So it's beautiful. But when he first got it, it was just metal.
Okay.
And it had a dragon's mouth at the bottom with the hilt.
Oh, that's so
That's
cool.
kind of like consuming the sword, so it almost looks like the blade is like a flame.
So cool. So
very
extra.
cool.
We love it for him. So they gave you that, and then did you guys just immediately leave?
Oh, no. So that night they went drinking.
Cool. Sounds like D&D.
Yeah. They went to a tavern that was like in town, and he flirted heavily with Thaz, who's only gay when he's drunk.
R.I.P. We do not love this for Finn.
No, we don't. Oh, poor Finesse.
I know.
Because I think one of the things that I do need to make very clear is that we also have playlists for these characters. We'll probably like at some time share them.
If you want them, you have to ask us nicely.
But one of the things that I really like on the playlist is like I've got Everybody Loves Me by One Republic, followed by oh god, what's the song called? But the first line is my own reflections making me sick.
Isn't it Go Easy?
Yeah.
Is that the name of the song?
It's Go Easy on Me. Is it Matt Mason?
I'm checking. Please hold.
But Mirth really internalized.
Yeah, it is Matt Mason.
Yeah.
We love Matt Mason.
Yes, we do. But Mirth really internalized the I'm ugly and wrong from that encounter because it was very, very violent and terrible. Like, essentially, I should mention this. There's something later that happens that we should 100% make sure that we talk about this with. When you know how in the last episode Z was talking about the up-down game?
Yes.
The people in that town that attacked Finesse played the up-down game with him.
Oh.
Yeah. Which was why it was so traumatic for him to watch somebody do that. So, like, callously. But yeah, they essentially beat him. Like, I modeled it after a lot of the... Wow, this is going to get really sad really quick.
Trigger warning violence?
Yeah, trigger warning my lived experience.
Yeah.
I, like, for some reason when I was growing up, everybody always knew that I was queer and I didn't.
Yeah.
So I would be, like, cornered by grown men in, like, stores and stuff and harassed and assaulted in various ways, and like I just dealt with it a whole bunch, and so like I internalized that kind of thing too. But I really based it because I had Bardis read it, and books Bardis likes my writing
because his writing's great.
But Bardis was like, wow, I can really feel the like real experience in it, because essentially they just wanted to trick Mirth into doing something wrong, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, they played the up-down game with him, so he really internalized the I'm ugly and wrong, but I'm okay with my family, and as long as I'm making people happy, I have value. So he's never as flirtatious and beautiful and desired as he is in much of the Sword Coast, because he is ethereal. Like, one of the things about him is that he's ethereally beautiful for a reason that we can get to later. But he's never been with anybody, and he really just had the biggest crush on Thaz, but Thaz would only flirt with him when he was drunk. So
and then he would like bring women back to their caravan and stuff, right?
yeah,
Some like really shitty stuff.
really shitty behavior.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they all went out drinking. I think that y'all stayed at, I think Z stayed at the inn. Sorry, I didn't mean y'all.
I mean, maybe I was there just like doing my own
vibing.
Thing. Yeah.
Stayed at the inn, and Mirth went back to the carnival. had to, bring a drunk ass home.
Classic.
Classic. But yeah, I think that's when some of the party members started to figure out something was weird, because like nobody would leave without making sure that somebody was staying behind with Mirth.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense.
Makes sense. So this is where I get really fuzzy on timeline.
I have notes.
You do? Please direct me.
I've got my notes here. So, after y'all went to the bar, like the next day, it seems like you were trying to get supplies to go on this trip.
Yes.
So you went to, like, there's a big market in Port Nyanzaru.
Yeah.
It's a big trade city. So you were trying to get everything together for that.
Yeah, because we were told we had to get like the insect repellent stuff that's like really vital in the region.
That's right.
Mirth bought really expensive soap that he never got to use. It's really sad.
Maybe one day he'll get to use his soap.
Thanks, Prestidigitation.
Literally. the saving spell of bards everywhere. And then that's when y'all met Adon, Yvonne's character.
So there were people that were being taken to Executioner's Run who were in cages. I remember that much. I knew that was happening. And Adon essentially started fighting, or no, dinosaurs escaped, I think, from Executioner's Run as well. And so we had this big fight with like raptors, I think, in the middle of the city.
In the middle of the market.
In the middle of the market, yeah. And that's
very Aladdin. That's
when we met Adon. Because she was trying to save some people who had been helping her, I believe.
And in case we didn't say it earlier, like, she's a very beautiful drow woman, and she has like long hair and stuff, doesn't she? Like,
yeah. So she's a ranger. So everybody knows, and is. Yeah, like you said, beautiful, I think petite. I believe she's like 5 feet-ish tall.
Yeah.
Mirth is a giant compared to everybody else in the group, except for River.
Mirth and River are tall, everyone else is
short.
Very short. But she's the only character that we haven't had like a spotlight episode on because Yvonne wasn't available, so just so everybody sees the picture.
Yeah, but she's very soft-spoken, but also very brave, very sweet. Like I'm. It's just finesse / Mirth just supplying this for me. She's got kind of like a grim determination.
Very protective.
And a very strong sense of justice. Very capable, but.
Yeah, she always goes first in a combat initiative, is something I'll say.
Her build is hella cool.
Yeah, it is. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. And, well, that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah. But so y'all helped her with this fight, and then how did you get her to come with you? Like, was she just like, thank you for helping me, I'll come?
I mean, I think so.
It sounds like her. I just... hadn't heard about that.
Like, I don't remember. I mean, like, I think that it was kind of like a you've helped me, I'll help you situation.
She didn't have anywhere to go, right?
No, because we found out later why.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, I think that after that she came with us back to the estate. And then we had the rainbow wave.
Yep, that immediately happened.
Yeah. So, because Finn was supposed to say bye to everybody, and they were supposed to leave. But, so the rainbow wave was quite literally like this, like, shimmery rainbow magic, almost like sound wave type thing that happened that was visible. But it had like a force behind it, and the group of us were together, and it washed over us, and we all got this vision of like hundreds of zombies and ghouls and things coming out of the jungle and just being at the walls, overwhelming Port Nyanzaru. And after the wave happened, we all changed a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so Kayleen's the easiest one to talk about. Kayleen, got like all of his babies that he talked about, all his little inventions, um, got a little bit more sophisticated. But Rupert, especially his frog, just looked like far beyond anything that he had done in a long, long time. It looked like before the magic broke before.
Yeah, before the spell plague,
Yeah.
I think. So over 50 years ago.
Yeah. And let's see. I think Zayd, his coin changed because he just had a regular kind of coin, and then his coin changed so that it had like Timora's smile, and then on the back it was Bashaba's ass.
Icon.
I'm trying to remember what it changed for Adon.
I don't know. I didn't get any notes on that. We can find out. We can retcon it. Bardis, tell us.
But Mirth became distinctly more fiendish. He got like 2 sets of fangs, top and bottom. All of his because I modeled him after like a caracal, which is, you can look it up. It's a very cute kind of like predator cat that has really big ears. So like all the black markings on him, like on his face and on his ears and around his eyes and stuff, got much more distinct and harder to hide. And his like claws got more distinct, and his ears got a little bigger, and his eyes were a lot more cat-like than they were before. So yeah, that sucked for him.
So this was the first event in a long string of bad events that happened for Mirth.
So we were all really worried because we all had the same vision of all of these zombies coming. So we all ran to the wall to figure out if it was happening, because nobody else seemed to notice it. That was the really weird thing.
Did everyone get the vision? Everyone else?
No, it's just us.
Cool.
Nobody else seemed to even notice things were different until Mirth was like, "I think I have more teeth." Like to Envy, he was like, "Envy, I think I have more teeth." He's like, "Is there something wrong with me?" And he's just like opening his mouth like it's his mom, like
showing her all 8 fangs. Yeah. Oh my god. Oh, poor baby.
I know. But while we were up on the wall, we saw someone running from the jungle being chased.
It's a beautiful blonde human woman.
Yes, a beautiful blonde human woman in oversized armor. Ooh. Being chased, and she's being chased by like I think they were leshies.
Yeah, you said like twig leshies, I think.
They were some sort of like jungle like plant creatures.
Yeah.
And we like tried to get the guards to go help her, and they were essentially like, "We don't help anybody until they're to the gate.
That's not our job."
Yeah.
What dicks.
They were stupid enough to go out into the jungle, So of course we went out there, and kind of got our asses kicked because we weren't rolling very well.
Oh shit. Well, and you were like what, level 1?
No, we were probably level 2 or 3 at that point. I don't know. We were getting our asses kicked. And so a little bead, like this little magical bead, came up out of Rupert, and there was also like this in his mind magical overlay, like almost like like a visor heads up screen, like if you're familiar with like first person shooters, like it came up for Kayleen, and he was able to like pick a spell that he did not have access to, and he cast Tiny Hut for us and kept us safe.
Yeah, and Tiny Hut makes like a little half circle dome that protects you from like it's environment controlled. It protects you from certain kinds of spells. Yeah. It can be dispelled by like pretty high level magic, but
that then we kind of like stood and like aimed magic outside of the Tiny Hut and were able to defeat them and then rest and then bring who it turned out to be that giant, strong orc woman, Undrul, was now this very petite, beautiful, like borderline to like Vanessa's level of pretty,
Mm-hmm.
um, like human to the back into the port.
Yeah, and then to the estate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it seemed like y'all and then her were like the only people that were affected by the wave.
Yeah, it was really interesting, and so I know that Mirth tried to tell Tazium about it, and um, Tazium at that point was very insistent that Mirth leave. It was like, you have to leave, and Mirth was essentially like, I don't want to. Why do I have to go? And now this is, I know, Bartis, that this is not what Tazium said. We know how this goes. But Mirth essentially felt like, because of the changes that had happened to him and because of everything that was going on, he was being kicked out of the family because he was being told he had to leave and he had to go do this job for Wakanga. And that he had to go with these new people.
Yeah, these people he didn't know.
Yeah, these people he didn't know. And so he tried to say goodbye to everybody. And Thaz asked to come, and he was specifically told that he couldn't. And they left. I think they left either that day or like the next day. I'm not sure which. But they ran into like these like bat swarm things.
Classic bat swarm.
We got into the jungle, and that's the first time that Mirth cast Shatter.
Signature spell for Mirth. If you don't know that spell, look it up. It's a fantastic spell.
But he cast it by slamming his sword into the ground and screaming at the top of his lungs, but you can't hear it. The sound comes wherever he's casting the spell. So we had that fight, and then we kept going, and I think that night we camped, and one of the random encounters that we got was with a fairy pseudo dragon who was playing pranks on us in the camp, which was very fun.
So like a fae type, like mischievous pseudo dragon.
It's like a pseudo dragon that has like fairy wings and stuff.
Oh my god, cute!
Yeah,
I want one. I want a plushie.
I know, it was super cute, and of course, Mirth made friends.
Like, are you trying to prank us? Well, let me befriend you instead.
But they basically like traded stories, I believe, is what happened. But that's also, if y'all remember, the first time that Z as Aid cast the what's it called?
Divine Sense,
and saw that Mirth was in fact a Rakshasa tiefling.
Information. And that's the night that he had his first like bad dream, right?
Yes. But I was gonna say, so like Kayleen would spend his evenings working on projects. And Adon basically fed us the whole time. Like, we didn't have to carry rations because Adon just like gathered food because she understood the region, and so she always could find. Because one of the things they were like, when we were leaving, they told us you need to worry about the bugs, so you need insect repellent, you need to worry about water, clean water, and you need to worry about food. And she took care of those things for us.
She was like, "Don't worry."
She was really cool.
Definitely group mom behavior.
But we all had, I think, like a few of us had dreams that night.
Yeah.
And Mirth had a horrifying dream. Essentially, so as I've mentioned, he can't remember before like the age of 7. He has no memory of his childhood before that age. But and honestly has never tried to fill it in before. because he was very happy with his family, but I think he was starting to like really question whether or not he had a place in the world anymore. And so he had this horrible dream of when he was a kid, um, running down an alleyway in a city, and he recognized it as Waterdeep, and running and running and running and knowing something was right behind him. And I made a comic of it, which I can also share if y'all want me to.
But you have to ask us nicely.
But he gets to a point where he knows that he can either fight or keep running. And he turned around to fight, and he turned around and he saw this like almost Cheshire like smile in the dark, full of fangs, and this these cat eyes that were much like his own. And when he looked down, his hands were backwards, which one of the ways that you can recognize a Rakshasa, which is a kind of devil, is that their hands are backwards. Yeah. So their thumbs point in instead of out. And so he looked down and his hands were backwards, and he basically started turning into a Rakshasa. And I heard this horrible, horrible laughter, and then he woke up. And I believe that same night, Dawn had a dream about a glade that was bathed in star and moonlight, and a weapon that was there. And so the two of them went looking for it. And that's when she found all of these like artifacts and things that had been there like a long time, and spoke with her goddess and got Shaylin, which is a really cool magical weapon.
Yeah.
It can be a bow. It can be what is it?
A glaive.
A glaive and a sword, I believe.
I think so.
Yeah. Most of the time it's a bow.
Yeah.
Fucking badass bow.
First in initiative, being DPS from far away.
Thwack, thwack, thwack.
Murder. Yeah, she can, I think it's like if she's first in the initiative, she can shoot like 3 arrows on her turn. It's like, she has a crazy build. It's great.
It's a great build. We should post those, like the builds for everybody.
That would be fun.
So we found those weapons. I'm pretty sure the other two had dreams. We nosy won't remember his.
Yeah, we didn't get notes about that from Buck, but if we do, we'll add.
Yeah. And I'm trying to remember if that was the first time that Kayleen dreamt about his god and his like airship.
Maybe. I don't have if we get that info we can like fill it in, but Kayleen's god is Ogma, who is like a god in the, Faerun universe.
So, next day, we keep going through the jungle, and we get into a fight. And by the way, Undril is also with us.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
We get into a fight with scorpions, and at the time, we were trying out different. So a sword college bard has lots of flourishes. So a flourish is like what I can use my bardic inspiration for in a combat, essentially, that isn't just helping other people, but I can do a special kind of like sword move, essentially. And we were experimenting with a cutting flourish, which is like a play on cutting words, which is an ability that other bards have to reduce an enemy's attack roll by their bardic inspiration die.
Yes.
And so Undril was used to being frontline and was getting absolutely demolished, and so Mirth tried to save her and got stung by a scorpion, like a forest scorpion, and died. Insta-death.
And I will say there was another reason that someone in the party was not participating, from what I've been told.
I wasn't gonna tell on him.
Why? It's in the notes.
Kayleen got preoccupied and was trying to figure out a way to help Moore, and got it in his head that he should do his homunculus. But the homunculus takes a really long time to make, which I don't
No.
think Buck realized at the time. But he spent the entire combat trying to make Margot.
Yeah, his little hummingbird.
Yeah. So that happened.
I feel like Mirth probably still would have died.
Yeah, because it was from the stinger, and it was just instant
It was
death.
like a crit, wasn't it?
Yes.
It was like really bad.
It was a crit on the stinger.
Ugh.
And by the way, before that, I had a phobia of scorpions. So, way to solve your phobias, guys, is die in a game to the thing you're afraid of.
I wish that I wish it solved my phobias, because I've sure had to.
I mean, they still freak me out, but like, it's not as bad.
But also, I will say, like, Mirth does not have a lot of health, canonically.
Well, Mirth is a bard. Mirth gets to roll but I also really roll low. And Mirth has doesn't have very high con or anything.
No, like, all of the factors that lead to you having, like, health points, you
Think
like...
wizard level health points.
Exactly.
Which is very low.
Yeah, so it was just, like, Bardus rolled really high, and it just sucked.
So I remember sitting at the table, and I was about to get up and be like, hey, can I have a second? And Bardus went straight into a vision.
Oh my god.
Because remember the session before is when I had that horrible dream and sobbed about it. Because it was really scary, guys. But Finesse was floating in darkness, and suddenly there was a giant purple eye speaking to him, essentially. Like, it opened, and then he heard this voice, that ended up being the voice of his sword, who wished him back alive.
Like, literally a level 9, the highest level spell you can possibly do, a wish spell. It's like the, like, hardest spell you could ever learn, and you can usually only use it once or, like, a few times.
L can't use it anymore, apparently.
Oh my god.
Because Bars had to roll to see if he could.
Yeah, if you use it, it, like, depends on your dungeon master. But, like, sometimes they're like, you can only use it once, or, like, you have to roll to see if you can use it again.
But it turned out that the sword that Mirth was carrying is actually Eldenser, as we talked about. An ancient amethyst dragon that is so ancient it's turning white.
Which is crazy.
Who got bored and likes traveling with adventurers as a sword. Like, he puts his soul into the sword, and anyway, so after that,
Anyway.
so to everybody else, Mirth was down for like a few seconds. And so he tried to explain that he died, and Kayleen especially didn't believe him. And then he started talking to his sword, and for a while, Kayleen believed that Mirth had made a warlock contract.
Oh my god.
And started, like, warning him about the dangers of it and things like that.
That's really funny, because, like, I can see why someone would think that.
Mm-hmm.
But,
especially with, like, the like, Rakshasa dream and stuff, so.
Oh my god. The, like, least likely person to be a warlock is Mirth. Truly.
Yeah, so that happened. And then I remember we slept in, like, some beautiful, like, large trees, and Adon made us, like, these really cool, like, hammock things to sleep in.
Aww.
And then we met, I call them the wee ones. I don't remember what they're called. They're little creatures that are common in the jungle.
I don't know.
They wear little masks. And, like, Mirthson run into them a couple times, and they've gifted him with blessings twice because they happen to, like things about him.
Different universe, but are they kind of, like, Do they kind of look like Koroks?
Yeah,
Like
that's
in
what
Zelda?
that's the vibe it reminded me of.
Great. So they're like little D&D flavored Koroks.
Yeah.
I feel like
Bardis is yelling at me right now.
Bardis is definitely yelling, "Oh, Bardis, you have to just send us your notes and tell us who you want to read the notes, okay?"
But Mirth happened to spot them when they were like hiding, and they like kind of played with him a little bit, and then were admiring the scarf on his head. And at that time, he was still wearing it, but after dying and the dream and the stuff with his family, and the other thing that I haven't mentioned yet is that his family gave him a sending stone and was like, "Call us anytime, we will talk to you every day." And he had been talking to them, and none of them had been responding.
That's right. Ugh.
So no one was responding to him. And so he gave the wee one of his last scarves. And they apparently, like, these guys on the table like always have one thing that they really, really like. And apparently they really liked clothes. And so they were like delighted that he gifted them the scarf, and so they increased his wisdom.
Yeah, by like 2 points, right? Which is like the most you can have in any stat is 20, and you can have negatives.
Yeah, so Mirth used to have negative intelligence and negative wisdom, and they made his wisdom 10.
Oh my god. That's...
That was pretty funny.
What an amazing way to get a stat boost. Stat boosts are like hard to get.
Yes, they are.
It's like usually every like 4 levels you can take one, or you can take like what's called a feat, which is like a special kind of ability that the only way you can get it is through these, like through getting to certain levels, essentially.
Yeah.
But it's either or.
But then we got to the fort, and we met Anatha.
Yeah, Fort Bolarian.
Fort Bolarian, yeah. And Anatha was basically like running the storage and like storage management and stuff, but she was undercover because she's really cool. And she's like a political spy.
Yes. She's a rogue, right?
Yeah.
She's like an Inquisitor rogue?
Yes.
Yeah.
She's really, really cool. And so we got to see the dynamic between Anatha and Kayleen, which is like, you guys.
Just 2 gnomes being married and cute.
They're just 2 old people who are really in love, and
it's so sweet.
Know each other's every thought and habit. It was so... Mirth was just like, I want that. It was so sweet. But they gave Idon trouble, which sucked. They gave Idon and Mirth trouble because
at the fort, because there were hella like racist people.
Yes,
cool.
They sucked.
Yeah.
And then so there was one. Well, I think we had to go meet the like captain of the fort in order to like be there at all.
Oh my god!
Permission to be there.
So you met her before you met River?
Oh,
damn!
I believe so.
God, she must have so much time on her hands if she's just like
because I think we met her like, and she was like, you have to go do these things for us to prove that you can be here or whatever. Like, you're gonna do this job for us. But I know, again, this is gonna be all scrambled, guys. I'm real sorry. Dragon Stunners.
You're doing a good job.
You're doing a good job. So I know that while we were there, we upgraded equipment. Zayd gambled with other soldiers at the because there's like this like tent bar, and it was the only place you could get drinks and stuff. And Mirth performed because we were there for like a week or so.
About a week, yeah.
Yeah. Mirth performed every night because that's what he knows how to do. So, Finesse the Blade performed every night and gained fans, which was very cute.
Yeah, because I remember when River got there were a bunch of people that, when you performed again, that came back and were like, oh, we're so excited he's performing again. Yeah. So it was very cool.
Because I rolled a nat 20 on my first roll.
Of course you did.
Because it was like I was like level 3 or 4 or some shit. I was level 3 and rolled a nat 20, got a 34 or something like that.
Amazing. I also have a note here that like you said, you weren't getting any messages back from your family.
But I did get. Oh, that's right. Okay. I just feel like I'm only talking about Mirth, but that's like that's the perspective I have.
Well,
I'm
and
trying to
it's
feel in other people's stuff.
it's what we have notes on,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like we're doing our best.
So Mirth got a weird message from his family that felt off, and it sounded like the sending stone was being passed around, but it didn't really sound like he just wasn't sure, if that makes sense. So he was like, Undril, can you send messages? And Undril was like, yeah, I'll send them a message. And so she sent a message to Tazium, and Tazium essentially, like, I think she used like 2 message spells or something like that, and like they went back and forth, and Tazium made sure she was who she said she was. And all he told her was that someone is watching, the sending stone isn't safe, I'll find another way to communicate with you. Don't send messages. So, he was not doing good. Distinctly remember him sitting there holding this like now useless stone in his hands, because he's had the feeling of being watched the whole time, and he thought it was maybe from that dream of being watched by like the Rakshasa eyes. But he just lost it and threw it at a wall and left it there in the mud.
Oh, baby.
And then directly after that,
the face that he just made was great.
I know, this is infamous in this group.
Yes, it is.
So the whole day, like, we were all doing different things, and that was like what Mirth was doing with his morning before he went to like perform in the evenings when the soldiers were done with their days. Kayleen was learning to bake, and he was trying to like infuse things into his cooking, which was really cool. It was very cool. Unfortunately, I think earlier he was trying to apologize for everything that happened in the jungle, and wanted to make Mirth something, and he knew Mirth liked pastries because Mirth has a hella sweet tooth. And so
yeah, correct. Yeah.
So he, oh jeez, so he was rolling to make a pastry that looked like Mirth. I don't know why. Don't ask me. We can maybe have Buck back on to explain it. But he rolled real bad.
Like real bad.
Real bad, to the point where like this was gonna make Mirth sick.
Oh my god.
If he ate it. Yeah, it was gonna make Finesse sick if he ate it, and it was just ugly. It looked real bad. So Kayleen brought it to him right after he found out all this shit about his family abandoning him and not being able to send any kind of messages or anything. And Kayleen was like, I made this for you, but said it in a very Kayleen way. And Mirth was like, I know I'm ugly. You don't have to rub it in like that.
Oh.
And so it just have this like permanent image of a really sad looking Kayleen holding a very sad pastry. And Mirth, like, because Mirth literally just like hopped a wall after that to go like practice before. So he just sold as like really sad old man with his sad pastry.
What have I done?
It's just, I know I'm ugly. You don't have to rub it in.
It's so sad. The one thing I skipped in my notes because I'm a bad note taker.
What?
Is before, because I think like right after this is when they met River.
Yes.
But before the party left Port Nyanzaru to come to Fort Balarian, they also did end up hiring a guide.
That's right.
That's the one thing I forgot. I'm so sorry.
Mirth was not involved in this, which is why like it always slips my brain. But Bardis did remind us there was like this really crazy interview process that I think Zayd and Kayleen went through for different like they interviewed so many of the guides, and we ended up hiring
Musharib.
thank you, Musharib.
Yeah, and he's a dwarf
Mm-hmm.
from a mine that's
Krakamar.
yeah, Harakamar, that
Because that was the deal. Was like, you get me to Krakamar, and I'll get you like wherever you need to go.
yes, and it was it ended up being like where the party is going to need to go, but they don't know that yet.
Mhm.
So
Then that night during a performance, several things happened. One, rolled hella great on it, had returning fans, one of which ended up being the merchant prince that Kayleen was supposed to murder.
oh my god.
And so, like, Kayleen told us about it, and Mirth went to go talk to him and flirted with him and stuff, and he was actually a really nice guy.
So did y'all just like not murder him?
Uh-huh.
Oh my god. Isn't that like really compromising like Kayleen and Anatha's like safety?
I
guess it's
no
Kayleen's
idea.
choice.
It's Kayleen's choice.
We haven't heard any repercussions for it. I don't think.
So that happened, and then we met River as well. And I mean, you can talk about how River got there.
Oh god, this was in my I was on the Z train of backstory. What backstory? So the thing that Bartis and I came up with was River he grew up in this jungle in like the south with his family, had an ancestral home down there.
Yeah.
And then when he was like a teenager, like a young teenager, he went to the Dawn Warrior Isle, which is like an island where monks go that are, because he's a Way of the Sun Soul monk. And basically he spent all of his formative years and into his, because he's in like his mid-20s. So like into his early adulthood training. And he was like very good at everything and like studied really hard and was gonna basically be like an apprentice to the Dawn Warrior. And then there was what?
I said but.
But intrigue. There was another monk who was there, Sun Li, who did not like him and wanted to do what he was doing basically, and kind of like just told everybody a bunch of like lies about him and like blackmailed him. And the Dawn Warrior was like, why don't you just leave for a while? Why don't you just go and maybe you can come back? And River was just like, okay. Because he didn't know what to do, because he like didn't understand, I think, all the social dynamics of what was happening.
Yeah.
And so he was like, okay, fine, like, I guess I can leave. And he'd always had this, his family had to leave their ancestral home, I think, like, before he was born. And they had a family heirloom that was down there that he had always wanted to go find. And so he came up to this area to try and find a group or like some people who were going down there. And it's like not in the same area as Krakamar or the place where the party ended up needing to go, but it was sort of close. Yep. So that's kind of what he was doing there. And he was it took him a while to get over there because the Dawn Warrior Isle is kind of far away on like the other side of the peninsula.
Yeah.
So he had gathered like a lot of things, and so he was like trading in the market.
Yeah, he had like magical artifacts and stuff.
Yeah, I think he was trying to get like a one of the writs of exploration, which is like how...
Oh, I forgot about that bullshit.
Yeah, so it's like basically Commander Porter, who runs Fort Balarian, the bitch, And
That's why we had to talk to her and do all the
Yes.
bullshit for her. That's right.
I just remembered, just right now. So,
Yay.
basically, like, to go into the jungle, you have to pay money to
Yes.
only to have a, written thing that says, I am going out here for this purpose only. This is probably what I'm going to bring back. So that they could control what was happening.
Yeah, there was another writ too, like of trade or something like that.
I have my notes. I can look.
But yeah, that's right. That's why like there was like, because there was so much delay in like us being able to go and
Yes.
stuff like that.
That's
and,
why
like,
you were performing so much. Because we had all these days where, I mean, before I got there and then when I was there, because it was like 50 gold to get one of these things. I think you were trying to earn money.
Yeah, that's usually what Mirth was or Finesse was doing because Finesse, like, that's the way that the carnival worked. The carnival is very communal. Like, everybody worked, everybody shared responsibilities. Like, we essentially, whenever you could and needed money to get by, you worked for it. So, like, he was like, why try to be tricky about this? Because I do remember, like, I think Kayleen came up with like some sort of plan to do it, but like that's why Zaid was gambling,
Okay.
Finesse was working,
Adon was probably gathering. and
Adon
stuff.
was gathering every day. I remember that now. Like, Adon was going out in the morning.
I found it.
You found it.
So this is like an old ass journal that I thought I had lost.
Yeah, we found it yesterday.
It was fantastic, and my handwriting is bad.
As a former teacher, can confirm.
Baby, you don't have to say that. It's
Can't read it.
neither can I. So here are the notes I have. This was a military fort. Yes. So like this was like the military was trying to control all these groups of people in the jungle who didn't fucking need any of their help.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
And then the fort was selling these writs of exploration for 50 gold. Was right. And oh my god, so much worse. It's giving you permission to not be attacked on sight by any of the military. And then you can return and you have to give half of what you find.
That's right.
Oh my god, what bullshit. That's what it says.
Yeah. So I remember, like, she made us go and fight zombies and ghouls.
Yes, and I think that we fought the ghouls with River. That was like the first thing that happened.
That was one of the first things that happened because I think we all needed the writ, didn't we? Or was it
Yes. You need it like as a group.
So we went and fought, and you found some stuff for yourself when we fought them.
I did.
It was like journals and stuff.
Yes, so we went out there, and that was when she asked us, like, hey, I want you guys to go and scout Shilku Bay, which is in the southwest part of Chult, which is the peninsula.
We were in the northwest part of Chult.
Yes, and it was like a 3-week boat trip to get down there.
3-week boat trip or 3 weeks through the jungle.
Essentially, yeah.
Similar, yeah.
Depending on how good of a guide you have, right?
Yeah.
And to do recon on the destroyed village down there and see why other adventuring parties hadn't come back. But before we can let you do that, we need to see if you're capable. So we went and fought all these ghouls, and I found there were like a lot of dead bodies we found there, and some of them were River's a tabaxi catman, as we know, and there were other tabaxi there, which like is fairly common for the jungle, but like not. I don't think there were too many of them in the cities.
Yeah,
usually.
these were like traders. It was like a merchant caravan that got attacked.
Yeah, and so it was one of the tabaxi merchants' journals that River like still has, even though we're like almost level 20, because it has information about Omu, which is like the city where his family had an ancestral home that's like very important in Chult, and people aren't sure kind of where it is anymore, I think was kind of the thing.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's the lost city. But because it was a trader caravan that was attacked, we found a lot of items.
We did. And I think we brought them back, and I think we sold some of them that we didn't need to get like money.
No, but we had to give half
Yeah.
of them to her, I think,
Yeah.
which pissed Kayleen off.
I know, we almost got in a fight with her, I
Yes,
remember.
I remember.
It was tense.
You're welcome for that. You're welcome for us not getting in a fight.
Literally all mirth.
Yeah.
And so then they were like, great, will you go do this job for us? You have this much time.
And I distinctly remember this was one of the first times Mirth ever, like, Finesse ever negotiated and was like, we will do this for you if you pay us this much and you pay for the boat.
Mm-hmm.
And that sort of thing.
Yeah, because after all the stuff that happened in the jungle, I think everybody was like, we ain't doing it.
Yeah, we're not walking through the jungle. We're like, we'll go if you give us a boat.
Yeah.
And which was very unexpected for Bartis. Bartis was like, why are we getting on a boat? The whole module is in the jungle.
And our poor guide, Musharib, was like so upset because I in my notes when I was looking through them, I had notes about how he got really seasick the whole time on the boat.
Oh, that's right.
I know. So then we had to walk 14 miles to get to the boat the next day.
Mm-hmm.
And we met a kenku, which my first kenku. It's like a bird person.
And they only, so in 5e, they can only speak like a parrot can speak, which is by repeating phrases that they've heard.
And they repeat them exactly in that person's voice, which is like crazy. So you would just like, Mirth would say something and then Keys would say it back to Mirth exactly how you would hear it out of Mirth's mouth.
Yep.
And
if you've watched Critical Role, Kiri is a Kenku.
I love Kiri and I have the plushie.
Oh, fuck yourself.
Yes, we love Kiri. I'm Kiri. And so then Keys took us to the boat because the boat was like offshore because it was a big ass boat. The Brazen Pegasus.
Yes.
And then we met everybody on the boat.
Yeah, and so the way that Bartis did this was, if you recall, with them talking about us. So this was one of the boats that was designed for a way for you to get to the jungle.
Oh.
And it only had like a few people filled out. And they filled out the rest of the crew and put like little like hooks for each of us into our stories or into things that we might like onto the boat. Yeah.
Yeah. I was when I was reading through the notes, I was like, oh yeah, these people.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we got in the boat and then we spent so much real time. So many months.
But I think we should talk about that next time.
I know, but just to prep everybody, we are sure gonna talk about this boat.
Okay, I need you to understand. It was a full year in real life. In real life that we played the game on the boat.
Yeah, this like 4-ish week boat trip.
Yeah.
Was like almost an entire year.
Uh-huh.
It was crazy. And we played every week.
But yes, you are correct, audience members who kept up with what we were supposed to be doing. We did, in fact, not look for the automaton at all. We were big old chickens because Finesse died immediately. And then every other fight we had, we rolled bad.
Yeah.
And so we kept almost dying, and we were like, nah, let's just get on the fucking boat.
What could go wrong?
Oh, God.
So much, which we'll go over next time.
Yeah, so please, like, send us comments or, like, ask questions, and Dragon Stunners, if we've gotten something totally wrong or you need us to correct something, please send us messages.
We'd be happy to correct.
Let us know who you want to read the corrections.
That's right.
Please let it be Mirth. But
an audience, if you have questions, you can tell us who you want to read them to.
Yes, please. Because this is really fun for us, but like it's such a long form story, it feels a bit awkward like telling it. So let us know if you liked it, and we'll be back to talk about what happens next. But first,
A word from our characters. Love the show? Of course you do. Want to learn more? I mean, who wouldn't? Well, you've come to the right bard. This is Mercutia's Market with your host, me, Mercutia Claudius Titania Banquo Ulysses Falstaff. And yes, I did make the name myself. If you have questions for your wonderful hosts or me or anyone else you heard on the podcast, but mostly me, email us at queerdicerolls, that's ROLES, at obroris, that's OBRORIS, archives.com. If you wish, you can send these poor, tired queers the funds for their iced oat lattes through our Ko-fi Queer Dice Rolls. Be sure to follow us on all your favorite platforms. If you'd like to peruse these or any other links, check out our link tree. This week, we want to thank Z, Buck, Yvonne, and Bartas for giving us the opportunity to talk about our group's first epic adventure, and for always being so supportive of our creative endeavors. You're gorgeous, and we love you. That's all for now, but I'll be back next week. Ta-ta! You've been listening to Queer Dice Rolls with Flynt and Lena.
What character or plot point in the Dragon Stunners do you want to hear more about?
Don't forget to send us a message on Instagram or Buzzsprout. We'd love to hear from you.
The two of us will be back next week with the continuing tale of the Dragon Stunners.
But until then, take this inspiration die, just in case.
Bye, y'all.